Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 74 of the OG Technically Trek. I am your humble host, Dave Prime, and over here on my right, my right, your left, whatever, is filling in for Katie tonight. She's not feeling well, and she's got a lot of family drama. So she says, "Can you ask Travis to fill in?" So I texted him, and about an hour later, he's like, "Oh yeah, sure, no problem." So thank you for
I'm
stepping up
always
again,
here.
Travis. How's it
Absolutely,
going?
you know it.
How's it going tonight?
It's just another day. Just trying to survive another day and all.
I feel you there, especially in my situation. It's been a pretty hectic week. Saying late last week, I got a notification from my father when he calls, something's up, and say that my mom was put in the hospital last week. She had all I know is that she fell, and yeah, she. I've talked to her a couple of times. Her birthday was yesterday, so she spent the weekend in the hospital, and she's still there right now. She has an endoscopy. That's the word I was looking for earlier. She's
And she's
had
doing
one,
well. She's doing well, isn't she?
as far as I know, yeah. And say
Okay.
I'm gonna call her at the end of the show and just to double check to see how that procedure went to get a better idea of what caused her fall. But as I was sharing with you backstage a little bit ago, just like I'm at the age where my father lost both his parents, so I'm just like I need to start listening to my doctor. And that's one of the
You,
reasons my dad said she's not listening to her. So it's like, maybe I
it
need to talk to a nutritionist and start eating better.
bring back something I mentioned too. I think we had Manu on the show a couple of months ago, back in the spring. Mentioned that my brother ended up was diagnosed with colon cancer and stuff.
Hmm.
And I'm 46. In October I'll be 47. If anybody knows that 47 in Star Trek, in the Star Trek lore, that number is synonymous. I mean, if you catch the drop of the number 47 is synonymous.
Yeah,
But
was it?
that,
It's
that that brings that brings me to a thing where I'm like, I never had a colon screen or anything like that. I never had no checkup and stuff. I gotta start taking my like health. I should have, but I mean, you know, especially being African American male, we gotta take our health serious when it comes to stuff like that because we just get so lost in our life and we don't think about our physical health and stuff and everything else. We ignore that, and I understand that. So that's one of the things I can understand where it's like you have a wake up like a wake up call when the family member has some sort of medical ailment that happened to them or somebody or a friend, and you just be like, oh, my goodness, maybe I gotta start taking my myself more serious when it comes to my health.
mm, I just realized I forgot to do something here. Yeah, same, but it's kind of fitting talking about that with the Lady Val, the heterosexual life mate of our friend Manu, and saying the GoFundMe is still live, so they are still accepting donations to help
Okay.
cover the extensive medical bills from the hospital stay. She was there for about almost a month
Mhm.
after having 3 cardiac events. So down in the description below, there is a link for GoFundMe to if you can chip in $5, $10, $50, $100, $1,000. And saying probably not going to happen, but you never know. There could be a generous viewer out there that has some money to donate to uh, help them with the bills because I mean he's a poor Hollywood dude, so yeah, they don't make
You
all the
know,
money that
that
they think that they do. And sorry for the allergies, but oy, uh,
yeah, SAG actors, believe it or not, we just came off of, what's that, a strike a couple of years ago, about a year or
mhm,
so ago with the SAG. And, I mean, SAG workers are strugglers. SAG
yeah,
workers are strugglers, you know. Oh yeah. And we
that's
do wish Lady Val and Manu the best.
yeah,
Speedy recovery at a decent pace.
mhm,
Not for her to push herself or anything like that, but we wish Val, the best of recovery.
yeah, and there's been some live videos where I mean for having 3 cardiac events, she's doing remarkable already. I mean, she's talking, she's coherent, I physically haven't had a chance to see her. I should swing by and maybe bake some cookies or something. I don't know, because they're just right down the street, well, a couple miles down the street from me. So I got that unique opportunity
Absolutely.
to hang out with Manu himself. So
And and tell them that this little show that branches off from their main show is still
mhm.
going live and well, and we cannot wait for Manu and Tyson to get back to their old shenanigans and stuff and
Yeah,
everything else.
and some new shenanigans with the new space. I mean, they were all set and ready to go. Word is here, hopefully sometime this month. It'll be on Wednesdays at 6 o'clock, the old time slot of this show. So it's just kind of kismet, I guess you could say, that I bumped mine to
Yeah,
Monday to accommodate my schedule. Then he wanted to get off the Sunday to hopefully get more engagement from passengers, from listeners and viewers. And say so that was a great little segue there because I was going to talk about that. So hopefully soon we'll be able to get going. And they're going Dangerous Thoughts dot show. They're going to be
House
doing live
2.0.
to DT 2.0. Yep, but they're doing a lot of off, not live stuff. So that's something that's been in the works for a while.
Pre-recorded, like pre-recorded and other stuff. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. But one thing that is unique to this podcast versus other Star Trek podcasts is that we do welcome and encourage that live participation on camera. So, I mean, you can definitely, if you're camera shy, you don't feel like
Absolutely.
talking, there is the chat on the YouTube channel, and we'll throw your comments on live on camera. But if you're feeling bold, come on camera, talk with us. I've got 7 slots available, right? 6. So, yeah, 6 slots available right now. So, and so you can either turn on your camera or you can just gab away and say we do welcome and encourage that. And we get help with that through my partner Debbie, that makes a lot of great little energy drink products that help get that little caffeine rush without the crash afterwards. It's great for gamers, it's great for podcasters like us. And it's saying, but if you just go to the website w.gg and hit the code TechTrek, you get 10% off your order, as long as it's not one of those special bundle products, because you're getting a heck of a deal with those bundle deals. But if you're getting like one flavor like Grandpa's Denture Water or S'mores or several of the solo leveling games that they have flavors regarding to that, and get a tumbler like this one that I really, really like. See, I would date this guy if he was real. And say, but he's cute. But I was like, I will stand by that through thick and thin. But yeah, say my other boyfriend, Ensign Gamble, or I like to call him Ensign Cutie, he's predominant in this episode. And spoiler alert, they kind of sort of kill him off, like not even halfway through the episode, because like, to say I was upset was putting it mildly, because I really liked Ensign Gamble. I mean, he was a good character for the show. Yeah, we're just blowing up with the chats right now, and saying
You
yeah,
see that?
DTMT.
Yes, this
Oh,
episode features by the what's that, the fourth or fifth act. I mean, we seen that we knew he wasn't going to survive. It was a question about whether he survived or not and everything else. But it had a lot of interesting new twists to it. It brought out some interesting. Well, it's kept a little story arc going too. So I mean, it's one of those. This is one of those shows where we got a lot to talk about in a sense for this particular show and stuff and everything else. You know, but if you want to bring our guest on, I mean, like our viewers and stuff, and anybody who's on camera and stuff and everything else. But
yeah.
in the meantime, I want to throw this out for us in a sense because we're in the entertainment and everything else. I like to
Mhm,
do some like not fun facts and stuff, but I like to do like little historical facts and little fun facts too, and stuff
mhm.
and everything else. Now, uh first off, I
You want
like to say to the two little facts that I'm gonna give, they're not like part of technical Trek and everything else, but they part of real world history and stuff.
mhm,
Um, last week, which was August the 6th, it marked the 60th anniversary of the Voters' Right Act here in
Hmm.
the United States. And for me, because people like me, people who look like me, in a sense, didn't have the right to vote. And it's been 60 years. You know, be my parents were young. They was very young at the time when the Voters' Right Act was passed. Before then, their parents could not vote. And I see this as a big it marks a huge momentum, a huge thing that says, people who are all colored has the right to vote here in the United States. And then the second little, not fun fact, but just this historical fact for any of our viewers to remember. On August the 6th, 1946, the United States dropped the atomic bomb on Hiroshima.
Hmm.
And then 3 days later on Nagasaki, which marked the end of the second World
World
War.
War.
Yeah, yeah, that was 80 years ago. So 80 years ago, that was that was another little, not anniversary, but a little thing that we, in a sense, have came all this way and just think, wow, it's been 80 years since the atomic bomb was unleashed, and stuff and everything. Despite what anybody think, how should we or shouldn't we? I'm just saying it's been 80 years, and not talking about the Titanic lady either, But also, here's two little fun facts too that I like to throw out real quick and everything before you bring in everybody.
Hmm.
Uh, this year marks the 40th anniversary of Back to the Future.
Oh yes.
Back to the Future came out in what's that? July 3rd of 1985. That marks 40 years and stuff. And then also too, anybody who grew up through the 80s and stuff, who's a kid and stuff, there was a little movie that released that year. It was called The Transformers on
Hmm.
August the 8th. And next year will mark the 40th year, but this is the 39th anniversary on August the 8th that the movie Transformer came out, that really kind of freaked a lot of
Hmm.
us young ones out and everything else. So it was kind of like, oh my goodness, they really killed Optimus Prime. They did a
I
lot. They did
remember
away with
that.
a lot of characters and stuff. Like I was just in shocked about when I was a kid. I'm thinking, what happened? And then going into the third season of Transformer did not feel like Transformers. So I just want to throw all that little facts out to our viewers and stuff and everything else, just to have a little reminiscent and stuff. But anyway, Dave, let's get started.
All right, yeah, just some of the comments is yeah. Greetings, K70, and yes, welcome. And Tyson made the comment that it's a U.S. Coast Guard, even though it wasn't called it at the beginning, is hit 235 years old this month. So,
Yep.
but
Yeah.
yeah, so we got Tyson backstage. We got Zach kind of lurking. He's probably doing something on the side, but we'll have him in just in case he wants to chip in. How's it going, guys?
Great,
Tyson.
great. I'm happy to see Seven Up as a sponsor. But no, glad to be here. Really excited. Uh, anything Star Trek, I'm down for. Through the lens of time, Strange New Worlds.
Yeah,
This has
hearing
really
the
been an interesting season.
Yeah, hearing the title, I was thinking something completely different, but I mean, Chapel really stepped up her game in this episode. I mean, she took the bull by the horns and gave it a one of those little John Cena maneuvers. It was an
I
attitude
I
adjustment.
yeah, this one was CGI heavy, which I
Yes,
thought
it
was
was.
beautifully done, very beautifully done. We're seeing a budding romance between the security officer's brother and Uhura, which is cute. Um, I'm really sad about the the nurse that died in this, because I thought he was going to be a great addition to the show, and you know,
Yeah, they
he
killed
only
off my boyfriend.
yeah, they killed off a cute guy, and it's
Ensign
too bad.
Cutie.
But it was interesting. What's still left to go, I don't know that was even fully explained. Was now again, I'm horrible with names. You're gonna have to help me. The captain's love interest, the other captain, the female
Patel.
captain,
Patel.
Patel. Um, Whenever that entity was inside of the nurse, and Battelle, now with Gorn DNA, walked in, saw him, and instinctively had this reaction. They fought. And I'm thinking now, as I remember before the thing exploded, and when you look at Spock looking at the thing, it looked like a reptilian almost. It reminded me of the mouth of the alien, right? And Aliens, that little
Yeah.
mouth that comes out of the big head. That's kind of what it looked like in the bulb. Like it could have been a reptilian thing. And
Yeah,
maybe the
I mean,
Gorn has some knowledge of this creature, or recognized it, or there was something Gorn in her that recognized it. But after this all was said and done, I don't know that was ever addressed. So there could be, again, it could have been a plot point where they're going to address this in future episodes. So I'm going to be
well,
interested in that.
in the way they ended the episode, but say K70 asked, do we do fan film reviews? You know what? That's a good idea. And say once the season is over, just we can maybe do one of those or something because they are typically
I
available
was
on.
actually watching one just before. Oh, what is it? The Great Experiment, a Star Trek fan production, 2025. It's about the Excelsior. I was literally just watching this, and then I saw the time. I'm like, oh crap, I'm late for Technically Trek. So I don't probably see the lower third on my TV there. I was actually watching that fan film, and of course, Manu, my partner in Dangerous Thoughts with Tyson and Manu, who played Ichep on Star Trek Voyager, was in fan films, including Star Trek Renegades. So yeah, we love Star Trek fan films here.
Yeah, saying that, and of course, there's other like sci-fi related stuff that a lot of Star Trek actors were in, like the fifth passenger. And see, I got that in my queue. Maybe that's something we can do, um, and even
Yeah.
non-Star Trek related stuff because I've given high praise to the Book of Zombie. And I say that's a zombie movie I can actually watch because it's sorry. The camp factor is like way up here compared to some of the other like zombie movies.
So
Um,
K70, just a
yeah,
quick
he, yeah,
question. What if you'll shoot us the name of it? Just there's a lot of Star Trek fan. If you're into Star Trek the way we all are, you'll know there's a lot of fan made productions out there, all different.
Yeah.
And I love them all. I love watching it. Yeah, put it in there so we can watch
yeah,
it.
yeah. His YouTube channel actually has one that he does produce. So
Oh, okay. Is it
yeah,
called K70?
Okay.
no, that's his. It's been a couple of weeks, guy. What's the name of your Star Trek production? But it's I've seen snippets of it. It's pretty good. I
Well,
like it.
yeah. If I know where to look for it on YouTube,
Yeah,
I'll absolutely watch it. I love it.
Star Trek Defiant.
Star Trek
It's
Defiant.
a
All right.
yeah, it's something that Katie won't watch because it's TOS era.
Oh, I love the TOS. Some of the TOS era are some of my favorite. And by the way, some of the sets that they build, I swear to God, look exactly like the original set of the Enterprise. Like people spend thousands recreating, in their garage recreating these sets that are just, to the letter, all the way down to making the dyed colored epoxy buttons that light, from either the top or the bottom. It's just beautifully done. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, his is
Uh,
CGI, so
oh, okay, okay. Well,
that's a lot cheaper to produce in that aspect.
it might be cheaper to produce, but it's very technically intensive, which I'm not very
Yeah.
good at. But
Yes.
I'm happy to see it. Be happy to see it. Oh, there's Phil.
Well, there's
Hello.
Phil. Oh,
Oh my goodness, you
Evening.
combed your hair for today. That looks
I
good.
did, yeah. I just had a shower, so I had to. It needed to be cleaned up.
Yeah, my hair looks like crap, so I'm wearing my hat again. So
Yeah.
I
I know what
love
Phil's trying to say. He's trying to say, Tyson, now your turn to go hit the shower. I get it. You can smell
Yeah,
me from
same.
here. You're in Canada. It's a pretty strong smell.
Yeah, saying so the Seahawks went up against the Raiders for the first preseason game against their old coach Pete Carroll. They started off strong, but the Raiders came back and they end up tying the game at the end. So with preseason, they don't do overtime. So it's a 2020 tie.
I've never
But-
been a big fan of the Raiders. Sorry, just not a good.
Well, they did. Well, they did get. They get.
I mean, Chargers, San Diego, and I know now they moved to LA, so actually they're the Traders.
And
I'm
the
not going to get
Raiders
into
went-
sports because never ends well for me.
Yeah, and of course then the Raiders moved to Vegas. So, and saying yes, K70 is saying yeah, it's a CGI. It is a pain.
Yeah, we could do something like that after the Strange New World
Season is over.
season in. We could do some stuff like that, and we encourage any of our viewers and listeners who's watching us, come and talk to us. You can come and talk to us live because we're live. We're not pre-recorded. If you're camera shy, like Dave said earlier, you can just turn your camera off and you can do it, audio, and you can
Kind
chat
of like
with
how
us
Zach's
through the
doing
chat.
right now.
He's not with us in a sense, but he's with us.
He's with us in spirit. But yeah, one of the first things I noticed was how long it took before they actually went to the opening credits for this episode. It's like a good 11 minutes.
Oh, I noticed that.
Yes.
Which I think I'd have to dig a little deeper, but I think that might be a record for a Star Trek episode. Because Voyager has the quickest going from opening bit to the credits with Scorpion. Just we are the Borg, you will be assimilated. Zap, 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 boom. Opening credits.
Okay. Yeah, it's funny when I was watching it, and all of a sudden the credits came on. It was sort of jarring for me to think, "Oh yeah, they haven't shown the opening credit. How far into the
We're halfway through the episode. They're just now giving
Well,
cold
And I-
opens, and I don't know when that started. It started, I think, in the late 60s, early 70s, the cold open, which I like. I like the cold open
Yeah.
because, it you're given a very small set amount of time to hook the audience before you run your titles.
Yes.
And I like that.
yeah,
It's nice.
and the early seasons of MacGyver, the original MacGyver, is say that they had what they referred to as an opening gambit. They had something completely unrelated to the episode before the opening credits. It's like the series premiere. He's climbing up a mountain and rescued a POW from the bad guys, and just kind of launched them off the mountain with a flare gun and parachuted to safety, and then the episode started. Nothing related to it. Not mentioned again. It's
like
all
finished one and goes into the next, kind of
Yeah.
James Bondish. Yeah.
Yeah.
and usually had a different writer and a different director from the episode itself too. So
Oh, okay.
a little fun little tidbit going there.
But in this particular episode, in the start and stuff, let's start at the beginning and stuff and work our way through it while we got Tyson here for the time being and stuff. The one thing that my little trope is, this is why you don't carry on with relationships on the starship. In a sense, with people who are the awkwardness in the turbo lift. It's just like, what?
Yeah.
This is going to happen and stuff and everything. Not saying that, I mean, I know that happened a little bit, further in and stuff like that, but I want to address that because it's fresh in my mind. This is why, being on the starship and getting into a romantic relationship with others and stuff like that, and then y'all break up, it tends to not go so well. It's just like, oh my goodness, this is what I have always said about, like, on a long-term voyage, because you can't escape your ex. Y'all are in a hermetically sealed ship, and there's no y'all work together.
He smiled at Nurse Chapel, smiled at Spock is standing there, and then he's like, "Oh, I interrupted something, didn't I?"
Yeah,
like
you certainly did. I mean, but it's one of the things where it's like, it's good that he came into the turbulence because the awkwardness.
Welcome K70.
Hello there.
Yes, sir. Yeah, but like as you're mentioning, just I made a specific note on there. Just when the turbo lift door opened and Spock was there, Chapel was there, Spock just like.
That was pretty funny. That was pretty funny. But welcome to
Welcome
a
K70.
new, yeah. Welcome K70.
How are you all? Hope you're all doing well.
I am here. I am surviving despite all the
Oh, that makes two
all
of
the
us.
insanity life has thrown at me the last 7 days.
Well, that makes it because I'm waiting for a second surgery on my ankle, so I've already had
Yeah.
reconstructive surgery on it. So I'm waiting for a second one because it's not working. So yeah, I'm having fun, mate.
Yeah, see, I got an appointment with my doctor next week and got to let him know that some of the medication he's given me with my neuropathy issues.
Oh,
Not
neuropathy,
doing
yes,
good.
that's what I've got as well, on top of everything else. So yeah, in the ankle. So there's a possibility the second surgery might not work, which also worst case scenario. You said worst case scenario, I could end up losing my foot.
Oh,
Worst case
oh,
scenario.
that's no good.
That's not good.
Because I might have
That's not-
chronic neuropathy. So that's it. But he says that is a worst case scenario.
Yeah, I was in
Yeah.
a car accident and I had really bad back injury, and to this day I have to take an opioid pain medication to manage the pain for my back. My doctor says you're not supposed to take this medication with alcohol. He's wrong.
No, but it's not chronic. Say my feet are kind of on the numb side, but every now and then I'll just get that.
I know
that
what you mean,
elect-
yeah.
I call it a cattle prod. It just feels like a cattle prod. Just stab.
Well, mine's the opposite. I mean, I don't feel it. I feel it. I feel pain, and it is. It's not pleasant. I'm on all sorts of drugs at the moment to keep it at bay until I get the surgery done. I'm on anitriptyline, cocodamol, and various other cocktails. I'm a walking chemist.
K70, we
It's
wish
not
you
put me in no
we wish
shape.
you all the best. We wish you all the best
Absolutely.
and health
Well,
and
I'm
stuff
still on
and
the waiting
everything
list.
else.
I'm still waiting. That's the thing. It's a case of waiting. Good old British NHS, always the best. Not.
Well, now
better than
that
what
you're
we got
here,
here in the States.
Well, yeah,
now
let's talk
that
Star
you're
Trek.
well, yeah, but now that K70 is here with us, maybe we could take just a moment to ask about Star Trek Defiant. So I haven't heard of this. It's
I-
something that you
Yes.
produce, and I'd love to know more so that I can go look at it
I
after
try
the
and think
show.
what I can tell you. Basically, it's a CGI one. It's a originally started off. It was just me before my animator got in, and originally it was a audio. I did an audio using the AI voices and some AI imagery, and that was basically what it was. I got up to about 5 episodes, and then my one of my subscribers got a hold of me, and he wanted to try because he was learning to do animation himself. So he asked he asked me permission if he can try animating one of the chapters. I said, "Go ahead, let's see what you can do." And he did it, and it looked brilliant. I said, "Mate, how you feel about actually partnering up and do all the episodes?" That, of course, it means me rewriting everything because it was adapted for audio only, and now I've got to rewrite the whole thing, get rid of the narrative for animation. He says, "Not a problem." And we've been doing so. We've uploaded 7. The first 3, you'll notice a complete difference of a style because he's still learning, and the clothes were a little bit, how can we say, tight, especially on the women, because he was still learning.
I've noticed so many of the fan made productions, so many of them. The one I'm watching currently, including some of the regular web broadcasts of things like Trek Culture, right?
Yes.
So many fan productions come from the UK, almost more than the Americas, which is obviously where the show is from.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, how are we being outpaced? I mean, it's just amazing how much the UK has taken into Star Trek and loves Star Trek, and I love Star Trek.
I mean,
but so much of it comes from the UK these days.
Well, for me, unfortunately for me, or fortunately for everyone else, because of my ankle, I got nothing else better to do but do this. So. Plus, I've been learning to use because he's using 3ds Max to do the show, and so I'm writing. I'm doing the script. I'm also generating dialogue using 11 Labs for the voice actors. So all the voices are all from 11 Labs. I'm using editing software. I'm doing voice editing, sound editing, and all sorts of things. I'm choosing music and sound effects and putting it all together when he's done the animation. Unfortunately, my job doesn't actually stop until he's done the animation. When he's done the animation, then it's up to me to do everything else. Also, like I said, I create a storyboard for him to work on. So I got to create the storyboard, him doing that, and then wait for him to get it all done and bring it back to me. Which, by the way, it takes longer because there's only 2 of us and he's only got 1 computer.
And I have to assume it's like 1:30 in the morning where you are.
It is. So, you'd be correct. My ankle's keeping me awake, so I got nothing else to do. I'm still waiting for these.
We're happy to have you.
Oh, I'm happy to be on. It's a perfect opportunity to shield my channel and Star Trek Defiant, which is doing well. We're up to 2,560 subscribers.
Yeah, I'm one of them.
You're one of them. Thank you very much. And like I said, his animation skills are improving as we're going over each episode. By the way, his name is Patrick B. Rube. He's from Canada and he's a good friend. It's amazing. They say that one thing that we're bringing together is Star Trek, and it does with us too, because we're completely two different people. We're on opposites of any type of scale. I love the originals. He loves the new Trek. I hate the new Trek. He's all right with it. but it's what brought us together, which is our love for Star Trek. And doing this, we become good friends, regardless how we feel outside. As long as we leave what's outside. Do not bring it in. We're going to get the house on fire. If one of us tries to talk into this, we tell that person to shut up. Let's move on. Because we're
K7, KK70. We have a friend in here. He's been with us for for a very long time himself. Phil is a Canadian himself.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, our normal co-host Katie is
in Canada or in the UK.
Yeah, Katie's from the UK.
Katie's from the UK.
Take the mick out of each other from where we are, and he says, I said, well, I said, well, we're having a bit ridiculous. I can't help it. You're Canadian. What else was I supposed to do? He laughs at that.
So I just subscribed, and
Katie does not
head to the
TOS.
Yes, so
if you see my head over to the side, I'm watching Star Trek Defiant Chapter 1, and it opens with an Constitution class flying at warp through. I love this. I just subscribed, so you have a brand new subscriber.
We've updated the opening title. It's on there as a single. So have a look at that one. I did that one because I'm learning to use Blender, and I did that. So I didn't add my 2 cents into it now because I'm including.
Wow.
So if you want to show that, it'd be brilliant.
I see it just coming out of warp, and now there's this beautiful pinkish nebulae that is flying.
Oh yeah, that's all Patrick's work. That's all Patrick's work.
Beautiful.
He's brilliant. He's a talented, and he taught himself.
I can't wait till I need to pay attention to the show, but I'm drawn to want to watch this, so I'm going to watch this after the show. You've set the hook. All you have to do now is reel me in.
I said that we've updated the opening title, and say it's up there separately. And like I said, you want to have a look at that one and show that one, it'd be brilliant because it gives you an idea what we're doing. And we've.
What's the channel again?
It's called K70. By the way, K70 isn't my name. My pseudonym name is Sixer. So that's my online name. K70 is actually my second channel. My main channel is called The British Are Coming, where I do live streams on that one.
Okay.
Cool.
Forward, I don't see it.
Yeah,
I'm trying to share, but it won't. I don't think it'll let me share. Oh, here. Let me see if it'll let me share. Dave, do you have
What about the
control of
link?
what I'm trying to share?
Is there a link?
Oh, there it is.
There we go. So this is what I was talking about. Beautiful. Look at
Yeah.
that.
Patrick does some great work.
If I do a little, let me just see here. We'll take. Oh, so it's a CGI animation.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You.
I mean,
Oh
it's
my
like-
goodness.
Total CGI.
This one's doing a prologue at the minute. He's just doing to describe what happened to, because you know what happened to the Defiant Dam. We all know what happened to the Defiant. This is the what if.
Oh wow, this is. Look at that. Oh,
Right,
you know what?
That's
This
great.
is gonna. Yeah, I'm gonna. I don't want to give too much away here because I want people to subscribe and watch your channel. So I'll go ahead and
Definitely will.
stop sharing. But oh my goodness, we're gonna all have to check that out. I love it. I love it.
Definitely gonna have to subscribe to your channel. I just need a link. If
Or just
Tyson,
type in
you have a link,
K70 or Star Trek Defiant, and it will take you there.
I did try typing in K70 originally, and I couldn't. It wouldn't come up in the channel listing when I put in the filters. But when I did put in Star Trek Defiant, it came up first thing.
Okay, cool. If not, I'm sure that the others will share the link in the private chat for you.
Yeah, but like going back to the beginning of the episode, just a lot of that dynamic, and then La'an is like, it's like we're all adults here, so it's just like, come on.
It's in the private chat for everybody on this call. I just put the link in.
Okay.
Put it in the public too.
It won't let me put a link in the public chat.
You
might be able to. I'm not able to.
Let's see here. Let's see if it'll let me do it. No, I want to go back to the regular comments. Paste.
Also, like I said, I've been working on
Yep, there it goes.
use Blender myself, and I'm actually doing an original story called 6. And this is original sci-fi one. This is not a Star Trek one. This is original. I've already done like what I did with Defiant. I started off as an audio with AI imagery. I'm now my Blender skills improvement. I'm now in the middle of actually converting that into Blender. Instead of relying on AI tools.
Okay.
But yeah. With the episode though, saying of course it aired on Thursday. Life got in the way. I didn't get to watch it until just about 3 hours ago. And someone in one of the Star Trek channels on Facebook posted about Gamble dying. I was just like, ugh. And say, really? He said, I haven't got to see it just yet. It's like crap. But watching the episode after knowing that he was going to perish, not knowing how he was going to die, it was like a total sixth sense moment when you just like everything falls into place. Then you backtrack, say, oh, that's how what's going to happen. So there was such a strong focus on Gamble with listening to his log, watching him just geek out and hug McBanga when he was going to go on the way mission. Darn it. Might have to
because Tyson time is short with us. Phil told me a little secret on Friday or something. He dying to share with everybody and stuff.
I wasn't going to say too much, but I did message both Travis and Dave, because as soon as they beamed down to the planet, I went, that looks really familiar, and it's a spot in Ontario, because they shoot some of the ground scenes in Ontario, and I looked at it and went, I've been to that quarry. Some friends and I have been there. I know that for sure. Yeah, so because there's a couple of spots that actually do look like that, but as soon as I saw it, I went, first of all, I went, that's Ontario, and that's not far from me. I know exactly where that is.
Well, it's all up there in Toronto and area. The soundstage is up there.
A lot of it is, yeah. I used to do extra. I used to do background extra for movies and that, and I'm thinking I need to start doing that again, see if I can get in.
Be awesome, Phil, if you could do like a one background.
If I get a background, oh yeah, that would be amazing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. When Phil told me that, I was just thinking, that reminds me of
there you are.
Hey,
welcome. When like in the TOS, when like they went to in California Vasquez Rock area, when they went to in Deep Space Nine, they did quite a lot to not quite a lot, but they did a few like instead of soundstage they were shot on, they actually went out into the field and stuff and everything else, and it's good to see them getting out and about using like real world location as like
Yes,
Another good
Alien-
example. Another good example would be Descent, when they did that little hike to
Yes.
the Borg compound. Think that building is real. I think it's like
yeah.
a reclamation plant or something like that. So
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, it is
Mhm.
5:43, and at 5:45, I do have to drop into like 2 minutes. I have my ham radio net that.
well, you
I
can
need
do
to-
5. So the floor is yours.
Well, I can't stay
Okay.
long either because I've got to at least try and get some sleep myself as much as I can.
Yo,
Yeah.
definitely. And K70, what is your name, just so I can?
My name is Sixer. Everyone calls me Sixer. So I'm not giving my real name. You
Oh
don't
no,
mind.
that's fine. That's fine. Actually, I'm one of the weirdos that give my real. That's my real first and last name because. I mean, I my credit score is so low. You can look me up, and people put money in my account. They feel sorry for me.
My name went through various. I mean, I'm a scuba diver, and it used to be called Deep Sixer at one time. So
So just Sixer.
So now it's just Sixer.
That works.
Okay,
That
well,
kind of remind me of a GI Joe code name from the cartoon.
right? Yeah, I was. Oh my god, I used to love GI Joe.
And
That
now
was
we're
my-
now GI
same.
Joe over here. We had something different with that.
Well, and I love anime, but that's my, and that's another reason, cartoons. I never grew out of cartoons. So whether it's CGI anime, whether it's Japanese anime, American animation, British animation, it just I love cartoons. It's my favorite. All right, you guys have a great night. Thank you. Wonderful. Thank you for being here, and I will see you
Take care,
next week.
Tyson.
All righty, bye.
Take care.
Right.
Cheers.
Yeah, we'll see. Go back to that. So the episode there, like I said, that's like 11 something minutes before the opening credits. Where did I write that note so I know where the heck I'm at? Because I got actually a couple of pages of notes on this episode.
I had actually never watched. To be honest, I lost interest with the new Trek. It put me off. I did not like it, especially when Star Trek Discovery first came out. When I start, that kind of killed it for me. And it's bad because I start doing this fast forward, and I got to about 3 episodes, and I thought I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done.
I kind of did the same thing. Although I got to admit, the Strange New Worlds kind of brought me back into it. I've been really enjoying Strange New Worlds, but Discovery
has its moments.
Yeah.
Again with that, I lost interest. I watched a few episodes of that, and again, I saw myself starting doing this again. However, I did like Prodigy.
What about Lower Decks?
I love Prodigy, and I loved third season of Picard. Didn't like the first 2, but I like the 3rd season.
Yeah.
What about Lower Decks? The animated show. Lower Decks.
No.
Oh.
No.
Bummer.
No, don't.
I like Lower Decks, but I never touched Prodigy.
I have that. I consider that in the same levels as Star Trek Discovery, and that's saying something.
Well, I mean,
I did try watching it. I did give it a chance. No, it didn't. To me, I get it. It's supposed to be a comedy. It's not supposed to be serious. It's on the levels of Ren and Stimpy and
Rick and Morty.
What's that one with the dimensional jumping one?
Rick and Morty.
Rick and Morty. Yeah. It's not my thing. So it might be for everyone else. Fair do you enjoy it, but for me, nah.
Oh, they did a lot of nods and callbacks to like original series, some DS9 references, Next Generation references.
So many Easter eggs.
However, you say I must admit there was one episode of Strange New Worlds I did like, and it was the crossover with Lower Decks.
Yeah,
I did
those
like
old
that.
scientists.
That did make me laugh. That was one episode, only one episode. Oh no, Christian's second one. It was the when they did the Balance of Terror For when SWAT
That
took
was a
it. I
good
did
one,
like
yeah.
that. I did
Yeah,
like
that's
that.
the
Those
season
are the
one
only two
finale.
episodes I liked. Those are the only two episodes I liked.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
And
but
you know what? You're not alone. Not to get off this the typical episode we're talking about right now, but real quick, you're not alone with like I always call myself not an OG but Trek
no,
and everything, but I say like the Rick Berman the Gene
the
Roddenberry
Burt.
Rick Berman
Mm.
Star Trek universe. Well, in a sense, they're kind of Star Trek version of the
I
stuff like of that. When Star Trek came, when they tried to revive Star Trek, J.J. Abrams, in was that the Star Trek movie in
Oh,
2009. Yes, that's when that's when you start seeing Star Trek going away
Yeah.
from.
I tried to forget that. Thank you.
Well, that's when we start seeing like the Berman and Roddenberry's type of version of Star Trek that they created, that we
They
grew
had
up with, and this this new age Star Trek is meant for a new generation.
Mm.
No pun intended, but for a new generation of Star
Yeah, I'm
Trek.
Gen X, so they
Are you-
right.
Same here. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
Me
the
too.
only problem, the only thing I mean, I don't usually try and speak out as much because every time I say something to someone, and I really don't like them, I get all sorts of abuse thrown at me, and I get called all these sort of, the usual, but okay, I'm just going to keep my mouth shut. What Star Trek is supposed to bring people together, or yes, there'd be disagreements, but the idea is not to the limit, to the level where, whoa, easy, whoa, here, calm down. It's just, you know what I mean? Can I not have an opinion?
some people take it to heart. Like for us, we grew up. A lot of us grew up with the TOS, the TNG, the DS9, Voyager, and the others that came along. But the newer age people, they got their first taste of Star Trek from J.J. Abrams. That's their
Yeah, and I
look at that.
And I understand that, and it's yours. By all means, enjoy it, but don't expect me to like it. If I don't like it, I should be allowed to like it and not have slings and arrows thrown at me because I don't like it.
Oh boy,
you know what I mean?
That's the thing with Star Trek.
There's some of the new Trek I like. Some of the new Trek I did like the season of Picard. I did like Prodigy. I watched both episodes all the way through. I didn't do this. I loved it. Even though it was a Nickelodeon Kids one, I enjoyed it. It was brilliant. I couldn't believe it.
Should be the thing with Star Trek.
Why couldn't they done that with all the other, all the other ones?
Money.
Why couldn't they done what they did with Prodigy with all the other ones? That was perfect. And the third season of Picard, perfect. I could do without the cussing, but it was good.
Who was it? Who was it? Terry Metellus.
Terry Metellus was because he did Star Trek.
He was the showrunner for the third season. The first two seasons of Picard, they had different showrunners and stuff like that.
Gilmore Girls writers,
they didn't really take. Sorry. They didn't really take they didn't take the initiative to understand. If we create this, are fans going to have a pushback on what we bring out? Are we bringing the Star Trek that fans like, especially in like season 2, because season 2 was probably the weakest out of the 3. I go season 3, season 1, and then season 2 was like the weakest and stuff and everything.
I think I've got about far as season one. I barely watched season 1. And then when season 2 came out, I'm done. But then I wasn't going to watch anymore. But then a friend of mine says, "You're going to watch season 3?" I said, "No, I'm done with it." And he says, "Watch it. You must watch it. I promise you'll like it." And so I said, "Who's the writer?" Terry Metellus. Okay, I'll watch it because I know Terry Metellus. And I'm like, all right, as somebody who knows Star Trek, who can write Star Trek, I'll give it a go. I watched it. Okay, it was brilliant. I loved it. Because he knows how to do it. I'm sorry, but these writers that are doing Star Trek now, I've never done Star Trek before. Some of them haven't even done the sci-fi, let alone Star Trek. And that's my only problem. You're hiring people who can't do the job.
That's Hollywood for you right now. I mean,
I
when
know,
you got
I
a
know.
new when you got a new age of creative,
I get
people
that.
who have these ideas and stuff.
I get that.
They don't. I guess they don't take time to do research
Mm.
on what they're doing and stuff and everything. But it takes it's like this. There is some young people too
Mm.
that are going back and they're watching what we grew up with.
Mm.
And they are finding the Star Trek that we grew up with so they're just so in awe. Even the one from TOS, even the one back in the 60s, people still, I mean, we can have our little debates about whether,
Oh, yeah.
I know Dave and Katie has said it many times and stuff, but we could talk about exactly, yes. We could talk about like how Star Trek from the 60s, the mid to late 80s, the 90s,
I would love to
and
do
then
that.
in the early 2000s and stuff. And it's one of those things where people going back and appreciating
Mm.
the Star Trek that we grew up with. It was like, wow, we could see what they were talking
Mm.
about. Wow, look at this. They really knew how to do production. Their production was really good and stuff and everything.
Not just
TOS
that, it's just saving money as well. We're reconstituting things and recycling the sets, to save
yeah.
money.
And about time we got into, I look at it like this. It's TNG and DS9. They, really hooked a lot of people in. Some people in the beginning had trouble with DS9. But when they bought in the Defiant, well, they did a Marquee thing, the whole Marquee arc, and then they bought in the Defiant.
Dominion, and then the
They
Defiant.
really got people. They
Yeah.
really got people in. It really hooked a lot of people in and stuff and everything else. And then the storytelling of DS9 kept going on and on. And about time, what's that? In the third season, when DC9 was the only show for a short period of time, DC9 was on.
It started slow, didn't it?
Then comes Star Trek Voyager. Because Star Trek Voyager came in the middle of Deep Space Nine third season.
Yeah.
If you guys remember that in 1995.
95, yeah.
And it was one of those things where people were like, wow, we got into the show because they wanted to keep the whole Star Trek thing going because they just finished TNG, and it's like we gotta give fans some more Star Trek. We can't just have one Star Trek show on, just like they had for a short time DS9, TNG and DS9. Then we had DS9 and Voyager, and then after DS9 came to a conclusion in 1999, Voyager was the only Star Trek show until
Enterprise.
2001, until Enterprise, and Enterprise was the only show, and it only lasted for 4 seasons. And then what? Believe it or not, people. Go ahead.
So, yeah, it could have lasted a little longer, and it could have had a better ending. But the problem was the guy that took over was Les Moonves, and he hated Star Trek, and he wanted to get rid of it. And this is why, they rushed the ending, and that's why the ending was very, very bad. And to be honest, it was bad. It was bad. It was bad.
That last episode. That last episode we talked about, it was just a terrible. It was a terrible.
My favorite one, and at least they kept the continuity. It was Mirror Darkly. At least the Constitution class looked like the Constitution class. At least all the technology. It was Don Charlie. Do not get me. Sorry, I should have done it because he's going to get me. Because I'm going to get triggered. because this is what I really hate about the new space. I know you like it. It's Strange New Worlds. Sorry, it's not canon. Not for me anyway.
I said the same thing. If they're
going to make it the Cage era ship, not Discovery era. And at least call it an alternative universe. At least I think they are now, aren't they? Aren't they calling it new? For a while they said it's Prime Universe. No, that's not Prime. In that case, explain Mirror Darkly.
And Mirror Darkling was pretty. It was pretty good.
I loved it.
It brought me back to Mirror Darkling. Brought me back to Deep Space Nine, season 5, Trials and Tribulation. when they went back in time, when the Defiant itself went back in time to meet, to basically they meet. And we saw them transported aboard the Enterprise, and I was like, I felt like I was back in the,
Yeah, it was brilliant.
I was like, this is
There were
really, really.
I mean, Enterprise, yes, okay, it had some inconsistencies and there was problems with, but at least when they didn't mirror Doc, at least they honored the timeline,
Yep.
The Defiant was the Constitution class. Sorry. At least the Defiant was the Constitution class that we knew, not the Strange New World, which is when I did Star Trek Defiant, I kept the era and I gave an alternate time, a what if, and so to separate the Defiant from the Prime Universe, which we know as TOS. So it's separate. So it has its own timeline, its own universe, and it's separate. And I can do what the hell I want in that one.
Absolutely.
At least I said, this is the thing, at least I said in mine that it's an alternative universe. It's a different timeline. They're not even saying that.
I've been saying the same thing. I've been saying the same. There are people who give me pushback and say this is part of canon. This is part of the Rick Berman and Picard stuff and everything else. It's like the Discovery and Strange New World is all canon part of that. I'm like, look.
You was like me then, banging my head on the bloody keyboard then I was exactly, and when I seen those Klingorks, I thought, what? Those are Klingons? What? Are you serious?
People would say that we're nitpicking. We nitpick at little stuff like that and everything, but I guess I like right now
nitpickers.
I mean, I can understand. He didn't actually say that these I'm going to call them Klingorks were a subclass of Klingons. I would understand that, and then once in a while they bring in the Klingons that we know. Now, of course, these would be the Klingons after the augment virus. This is what I understand.
That's why
Klingons should still be the augment virus Klingons, not the rich ones.
I always said that too. I always said that. I was like, if this take place some decades after or whatever after Enterprise, and we knew about the augment virus, and they really explained. They really did a good explanation because, what I was just talking about in Trials and Tribulation, they asked Worf, "Are those Klingons?" He said, "Yes, but we don't talk about it with outsiders." And it's one of those things and stuff. It was like, you know what? I'm glad that Enterprise picked that up, and they gave us an explanation. Why did we see in
I was talking about the old subclass, and that's why I said these Klingons should be. If they made it a subclass, I'll be happy with that. But again, it does still make up for the rest of how bad the show is. But it takes me back to reminds me of someone did a fan film where those two Klingons, the post augment and pre-augment, were actually two subclasses of Klingon, kind of like with the Vulcans and the Romulans. These were two subclasses. They did that in the fan film, and I thought that's brilliant.
See, the augment virus obviously didn't affect the entire populace, but I mean, it's definitely...
It affected them for generations, didn't it, though?
Yeah, but then Kor, Koloth, and Kang, say when they were on DS9, they got their ridges back. So it was surgically, or if they were able to remove the virus out of the body, they grew their ridges back.
They
never did explain that, though.
Yeah, I would have thought it would have worn out after generations. It probably would have. Maybe they came up with a inoculation that will affect each new generation. That they slowly come back into Klingons that we know and love.
But these three, Kang, Kor, and Koloth, say those guys were
original three Klingons.
And then in DS9, Blood.
I think they look brilliant in full Klingon regalia. They look brilliant. They do.
Yeah, but Kor, I loved Kor. Kor was an awesome character. And
I'm trying to remember which one was Kor.
He lasted long. He was the last
survivor before he before he died was Core, wasn't he?
Yeah, the Har
Yeah.
Master.
The Dahan Master, the
But
last one.
he went out like a true Klingon, though.
Yeah,
he went
because
out.
he was
He went
losing
out
all
like
his
a true.
faculties, wasn't he?
He went
And
out.
What a
much
way
to
to
the
go.
chagrin to Martok. Sorry.
What's the matter? You're
Yeah,
right there,
Mark.
right?
It's just allergies. I think some of it has to do with the high altitude that I'm
I thought it was
living
when
in.
you. I thought it was when you said Martog. You said, "Ooh, what's it? Ooh,
No.
ooh." What
No,
the Martog?
I,
It's like
the-
it's like me with this discover.
it's random. I like to refer to it as a snoff. It's kind of a halfway between a cough and a sneeze.
But Strange New
The
World.
or
We
it,
talking about strange. We're talking about Strange New Worlds, like in this particular episode and stuff and everything. They introduced us to, like, in a sense, like okay, like not Voyager, but like Enterprise, because Enterprise was a prequel, and they introduced us to like some new species of aliens that you would think, oh, we should have seen these.
Are we talking
these
about the
species.
Enterprise show or the
The
Enterprise?
Enterprise? I'm making a reference to the Enterprise show, to Strange New Worlds. So we came to learn that there, before Kirk, now there was a species called Denobulans. There was a species called Zerillians. There was
Zindies.
several different, and then the Zindies. Five, you could say six different, like,
Yeah.
species of Zindies and stuff and everything. But in Strange New World, they're introducing us to, like, I guess you could say, species that we never really seen. What was that, Dave?
No, it's just covering my
Oh,
yawn.
Allergies
okay.
again. Are we boring you, mate?
Well, no, it's just no, it's some of the notes from the episode.
In this particular episode too, we saw, what was the species called? A Macan, Dave? The one guy that was on the planet, that when they beamed down to the planet, he was one of the representatives. He
Yeah,
looked very
I
funny.
forgot the right species
I
now.
believe it was the Macan, something like that. And you look at this and you think, they're introducing us to so many new species in such a way where it's like a prequel, where it's supposed to be prequel, and it's like, I'm a little bit like, you bringing in new species in a sense that could have already been part, but we never seen them.
This
Go
is
ahead.
why I'm hoping that this is going to be an alternate universe. They have to make it alternate. They keep it as a prime universe. It doesn't even make any sense. I mean, they've already introduced the Gorn into Cage, and you don't, and they don't. The Federation didn't know anything about the Gorn until the Kirk encountered them.
But
Yeah.
they did a pretty brilliant job with that regard with the season premiere, is saying they put the Gorn into hibernation, so they kind of just shuffle it under the rug. So the episode
Took it down the
Arena,
rug.
when they're came out of hibernation.
Yeah. And you know what? One of my biggest tropes is, I look because the technology today versus, like, we're trying to compare the 1960s versus now, which the technology is so advanced, the production budget is so advanced and stuff and everything else. And then we had a
money
discussion
to
not long
burn.
ago about, like, my thing. One of the things that I said, and I know, some of my fellow colleagues here was say, because Tyson even pointed this out about, I said, y'all noticed that this particular Enterprise, the Strange New Worlds, supposed to be the same Enterprise that we see in 1960 in the 1960s, but you look at them side by side and they do not look anything alike. The bridge is huge. The bridge in the 1960s
It's a
was
TARDIS.
small.
It's
like
TARDIS.
this bridge is, to me, it looks like a giant, not saying it looks like a giant Apple iStore in a sense. They got, it's very flashy. It's got, it is very, it has color. The floor paneling looks very shiny. I mean, the bridge in Strange New World and the ship itself and everything else looks so much more advanced than what we see from the 1960s. And I'm thinking, how's this show even connected to?
And
And,
the captain's quarters. How big his quarters are, and he's got a real fire. What?
and you know what? You and Katie were probably butt heads because she said her thing is she said she's hoping that Strange New Worlds will be rewriting the TOS as canon.
They already
TOS will be written now, and Strange New World will be actually written as canon versus the one we seen with William Shatner and the ones we seen in the 60s and stuff and everything. Because
It feels like
they're already talking about having Paul Wesley at the last episode of Strange New Worlds get the captaincy and a new series, Star Trek Year One, because there is a 1-year gap between the first episode and the second episode of TOS. So they can be creative in kind of putting new episodes with Wesley in charge to kind of between episodes that were already shot. It's a creative gamble.
It is.
But as I said, stop with the freaking prequels. Give us give us Star Trek Legacy, Paramount. If you're watching this, please greenlight Legacy. I mean, Matalis wants to do it. Jerry Ryan wants to do it. Ed Spaliers wants to do it. Michelle
I would be
wants
for
to do
that.
it.
And they want
the Next Generation cast. They want to do it. They bring us Legacy.
And the thing is, if you're going to carry on doing this, at least say it's an alternate universe. I'll be happy with that.
Me too. That's what I like that.
If there's an
I've sort of almost already accepted that in my head.
Pretty much what's put me off this at the moment because I don't want to admit that this is an alternate universe, and it's put me right off. I've
kind of been saying for a while that tech in this show actually feels even more advanced than TNG. Like when it started, like it's I've been kind of saying the same thing. I kind of like to see a series that takes place after. After
Legacy.
Picard, that continue
Legacy.
on into the future.
Do Legacy.
Yeah.
No, the thing about that is because they gave us a little tease. We saw that at the end of season 3 of Star Trek Picard. They gave us that little tease.
Yeah.
And it was like, are they hinting at wanting to do? But look, there were some circumstances that happened here in the U.S. that there was a writer strike. There was the SAG, and for a good long while, Hollywood was on strike. The actors, stuff like that was on strike. A lot of things, and also too, at that time, Paramount was in some negotiation with Skydance because Skydance was wanting to purchase Paramount, and there was some, they had to go back and forth and everything else to make the deal final stuff, but that got stretched out for a good long period. Now, the deal was finally done. Skydance bought Paramount, and it was finalized just literally, I believe, last Thursday or last Friday. They finally, it's called like Paramount Skydance, I think, production or something, or
Paramount Skydance Company or something.
Yeah, by David Ellison, who's Larry Ellison. Larry Ellison is literally the second richest person on the planet. He's the owner of Oracle, founder and owner of Oracle. His son is, he founded Skydance. Skydance owns Paramount now, and he's a big fan of. David Ellison is a big fan of Star Trek and everything else and stuff. That's one of the things that a lot of Star Trek projects has been kind of put on a side burner because of not only the writer strike and the SAG strike, but also too with the merger that happened and stuff and everything else. They've been liquidating a lot of their assets, and they were trying to make this deal work. It took some years before this deal came through, and in order for them to do that, Paramount would not greenlight anything, because they don't want to show that, oh yeah, we greenlight and all this stuff and everything while we're in negotiation for somebody to buy us and stuff and everything. They want to make sure that everything that looks good for David Ellison and the shareholders and stuff and everything else and stuff. So that's why I guess we have not seen anything, only but just all whispers and rumors and stuff like that, only because Paramount will not greenlight something like Star Trek Legacy because of what just happened in the last 3 years. And it was about 3 years, Dave, or so.
Yeah, something like that.
So right now, because they already had they couldn't go in production on it's just now we're getting Strange New Worlds, and we're getting some other Star Trek stuff and everything else. Stuff had to be postponed and put on hold and stuff because there were so many circumstances happening that was just like this obstacle and stuff and everything else. But now that David Ellison is now the chairman and CEO, and he's a fan of Star Trek, who knows? He may sit down with the people at Paramount and look and see, because you don't want to go into and just say, "Oh, I'm gonna green like this thing because I wanted to," and everything else. They got to look at too the financial, physical situation and stuff and everything else, because Paramount has been losing money for quite some time, and they want to make sure that they can produce, shows and stuff that are not going to be very costly to the studio. So that's one of the things too that we haven't seen anything from that. And not saying I'm one of the ones who's on board with all you guys and everybody who's watching the stuff, that I would love to see, instead of prequels, I would love to see something that goes to the like continue on from especially like after season 3 of Picard. It's like, how can y'all give us that, and you give us a taste of this sweet, yummy, possible future of Star Trek.
I mean,
and
what
you don't.
there was.
Go ahead.
No, you can finish what you were saying, but I got to put in my 2 cents on that.
Yeah, go for
Okay.
it. Go on.
Go ahead, Dave.
Go ahead.
No, just say I want, like, you'll see, for the sole purpose to figure out what the fuck Seven was going to say to her go word.
Go
They
fast.
Say,
I want to go fast now.
for it, hit it, punch it, engage. I mean, she did use engage at the beginning of the season, but when she became captain, she was just like, oh.
Well,
Then boom, she's taken off. Like, what the freaking frack was she going to say?
Well, my captain of the Defiant, he uses the word execute, so that's his one.
I still think too that the Titan should never have been changed to the Enterprise G.
You funny say, because this is what I was about to say.
They could have Connie 3 that, but not.
This is what I was about to say, because someone else had messages. I wish I would have loved. They should have made it to mix in with the episode of I think, was it All Good Things. They should recommission the the Enterprise D should get a refit into the Galaxy X.
Yeah, the Dreadnought class. Yeah,
the Dreadnought class. She will get a new lease of life with Captain Seven.
It's possible.
It's possible.
It's possible that
he'll think he'll go in and think, it's the Titan, and it's not exactly. And then it pans up, and then he'll see the Enterprise D in a Galaxy class or Galaxy X reconfiguration.
Yeah, but I mean, another possibility is that after what happened was I guess you can call it the gambit with the Borg, that the Titan was. Another Titan was commissioned, so the Titan B, and then they just used what was the Titan and rechristened it the Enterprise. So it's kind of like in Star Trek 4 when they turned the Yorktown into the Enterprise A.
Yeah.
That's a distinct possibility because the Titan crew did save the freaking planet. So.
Yeah. Well, with the help from the D.
With the help of the D, yeah. With the help of the D, giggity.
But something too. If they're going to do a Star Trek Legacy using Enterprise G and stuff like that. I'm gonna have to tell them, look, Terry, y'all gonna need more lighting on this shit because
Yeah. It's
the
supposed to be a bright
darkness.
new future. Yeah, it's supposed to be exploring. They said they want to go back to being exploratory. For fuck's sake, make it lighter. That means it's an
Yes,
exploratory. It needs to be more lighting. I mean, they kept the lighting with the dead when they brought the D in. At least it was bright, and the carpet.
Yeah, yeah, but say in case you didn't know, Sixers, like one of the one of our regulars from Dangerous Thoughts, Chris Leftwich, he does a dead on Quagmire impersonation. So when anything gets sexual, he goes giggity. So that's where the say get the D, so giggity.
So do you know the actor or the well, I can say actor, but the character that was called Ichab in Voyager?
Yeah, I can't remember his name, but I know who you mean. Yeah.
Mono Interremi.
Manu Intirami, and we all know Manu. You know, Dave actually lived right close to him. Him and Dave are, you know, really good friends and stuff. Manu Intirami has, you know, basically a channel himself with the guy who you saw earlier, Tyson. It's called what's that? Dangerous Thoughts with Manu and Tyson.
So yeah, to think of the
And
name, good grief, man. They've been off the air for a while because of a multitude of things. They're saying the original studio, we had to move out of it. The news where one of the producers, Cassie, is saying there's a litany of technical issues trying to get things set up on going, and they finally got it all lined up. They're all ready to go. Then his spouse had a heart attack, so that the show got put back on the back burner.
I think back in was that late April, early May, we had Manu on the show because we had a discussion about a Voyager episode called what's that, Q2? Was
Yep.
it Dave? Q2.
Q2.
And you know, we asked him questions and he told us about, like, you know, working on set with um John Delancey's son, who
Deacon,
was
yep.
basically
I didn't actually,
Q2.
for a while, I didn't know that was actually his son. I was shocked when I found out it was actually his son. Did not know for a
Egan
while.
Delancey.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Egan Delancey. And it's one of the things too, you know. So, you know, we ourselves have a little foothold with, you know, having some Star Trek, you know, with having some people who actually been in Star Trek and has known Star Trek and everything. And hearing Manu talk about, you know, working for a better part of 2 years on Star Trek Voyager, you know, it was pretty interesting stuff like that. So I'm just saying, if anytime in the future, you know, I hope you stick around or go to, you know, follow their, you know, channel and stuff and everything, because I know Dave will want to have him back on
Oh yeah.
this channel because, you know, there's more talk about, like, there's more to discuss with him about Star Trek, because he used to go to the Star Trek conventions and sign autographs and stuff and everything else, and he could tell you some good stories and stuff, some interesting stories
And
whatnot.
some not good stories too. So yeah,
Yeah, there's some not good stories and stuff and everything, but you know, we try to, you know, we're hoping that he can actually bring, you know, his contacts in the Star Trek world.
Egypt's in Star Trek Defiant. Oh, spoiler.
Interesting.
That is very interesting.
That'll get you wanted to watch now.
Yeah, I am intently intrigued now.
Yeah, so he didn't die in Star Trek in season 1 Picard.
Yeah, but I mean, it is bring back Ichab. I mean, it is a campaign that
I
he's
brought
been
him back.
pushing. So
I brought him back.
Yes, he brought him back. Dave, make sure you tell him that you met somebody that.
If I'd known it earlier, I could if I got on here earlier, I could probably ask him to do his voice for him, for his character for the episode that he's in.
I'm sure he might be game for that. You never know.
But I said I've already used an AI voice for him. So
yeah.
But I would have loved to have him to do the voiceover for that.
Because I mean, there's another episode.
I think my animator would have been geeking out if he knew that.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like just going back to the episode, since we were like way off topic at this point. But that was
we're having fun,
technically
right?
Oh, absolutely, we're having fun. But I just I mean like I was saying, knowing that the character is essentially dead before watching the episode, just seeing how giggity and happy and what was
Did
the
he,
words that
did he
I
get the
what did I
D?
write down?
That's
That
why you can't. You gotta stay off.
all pip and Cheerios is what I wrote down on the notes. Is when he
That's
hugs
why you gotta stay
Bendigo.
away from social media. You gotta stay away
Yeah.
from social media.
Well, I was just scrolling through my Facebook, and then all of a sudden, bam! It's like, what the what?
No. See, you gotta stay away from social media and stuff.
Yeah. See, for this show, it's kind of hard not to
Yeah.
stay away. But what's this? The way I think it was Nagad was the character's name, the alien that he was when they were in the shrine, and he just totally was freaking out and runs away and gets vaporized. Like, ooh, that's not
We
good.
thought it was a shrine, but we actually know it was actually a freaking prison.
Yeah.
The whole show went from thinking it was just something just benign and stuff to, oh my God, this stuff just turned deadly. You just know how just quickly that, on an away party, you think, you drop your guard for a moment, somebody's going to die, and 2 people did die in this and stuff, It's like, oh no, this turned into a whole new thing. We'll talk about interdimensional, beings and stuff, ancient, very ancient. It got people scared. The one guy that you said Nagan, he said evil. He referred to them as evil, like pure evil in this and stuff. And I'm sitting there like, ancient evil. That's pretty. That's pretty ominous.
Yeah, like at the end of the episode, we kind of talked about it earlier, how Helio was just all like all serious and blah. And then of course with Ortega's his brother, and she just like totally switches, like, is that good? Does that work?
You know what? Speaking about him, real quick.
Beto was his name.
And that there's a politician here in the U.S. His name is Beto O'Rourke. But anyway, let's talk about this real quick with Beto in this. He introduced something. Not I don't say introduce it, but he had that little device. I will call it a drone in a sense. We would call it a drone. But if you notice that, you look at that, and we talked about this about real world technology because we had to talk about the holodeck and stuff just the other week or so. It's like, you know what? That would be interesting to have such a type of technology, not with propellers and stuff, but like that kind of technology that can hover, that tracks you, that has AI tracking and it tracks you, and it just like, it has an ability to, just scan, like take a view of the entire area and stuff and everything. Because I thought that was a pretty little neat tool that they had, that because when they was trapped in their interdimensional planes, the drone said, wait, you guys are still together, but y'all on separate planes of existence and stuff and everything. I thought that was a neat little trope there.
Yeah, I made, that was kind of a neat little thing too. It's like, yeah, you're there the same space, but not exactly the same time. So, but yeah, once we figured out it was a prison, I think I even mentioned it earlier in the episode. It made me think of the episode Power Play with the Uxmal, when that entire moon where they were all energy and whatnot.
And they inhabit Troy, Data,
O'Brien.
and O'Brien.
Yeah, they got all possessed by those aliens. So definitely shades of that. Like the music, again, I think had a lot of subtle cues from the Undiscovered Country, just with the dark, ominous nature of the music. I just like, good on that.
It was talking about the possession one. They did something similar in Enterprise, didn't they? And it was a prison ship, but but all these energy things floating in there, and they're possessing people.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
I know what you're talking about.
It was a prison ship.
Yeah. But remember, it swallowed up the Enterprise.
It
was so big. It swallowed up the Enterprise, and they couldn't get out.
And you see all these energy patterns floating there, and these were actually consciousness.
Yeah.
They try to take over the bodies of the crew.
of the
Yeah,
crew, and
but
they had to go hide in the cell. Yeah.
Mm.
yeah, and the creep factor went through the roof when Gamble was wearing that visor thing to try and fix his eyes, which kind of goes
And
against some
Geordie.
canon there. Yeah, because they couldn't do that for Geordie in the 24th century. So why are they trying it here in the 23rd century?
Exactly.
Unless Mabanga was trying to research it and just couldn't get far along.
Pulaski could.
Right? But
But one thing too on that note too, Dave, when he ran scans and said there is no brain activity, I was like, how is he alive then if there's no brain activity?
He's a zombie.
He's like, we got, and I was just thinking, this don't make no sense. How he said, I was like, either y'all scans are not working right, or
something's
there's
up.
something going on because to us he is alive, but his eyes don't look right. His eyes was gone. And they trying to he's trying to repair his eye, trying to grow new eyes and stuff and everything. And he's thinking
horizon.
there's something weird going on. And then you start seeing him like he's set up real creepy looking. Like, what's going on here?
And then talked about Mamega's kid. It's just like, I didn't tell you her name. I was like, oh, what the frick is going on now? See, that's why I say they've already done one creepy episode this season. To do two in less than a month, so like, what the heck?
Well, let's talk about him.
What was the other creepy
Patel.
episode then? Because I don't watch it. So what was the other creepy episode?
Last week's episode.
The shuttle to Kenfori. So 2
weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. Yeah.
Yeah, the shuttle to Kenfori when they were looking for a plant to save Patel, and it turned the humans and the Klingons that were on the planet into zombies.
More or less.
More or less, yeah.
It was a pretty horror.
Let me get it. Okay, Star Trek Enterprise, where the Vulcans went completely insane.
Damage. We talked about that episode.
Trillium, was that Trillium D?
Trillium D, yep.
Yeah, Trillium D made him go stuff and everything.
Where have I heard that before?
but to Dave, on that note, what really spooked me about this is like Captain Patel and the being inhabited Gamble, they looked at each other and it's like they recognized each other and they went at it. It was like,
oh, that was
whoa.
Even Mabanga was taken off guard. They had like a final combat level like fighting. It's like, what the heck?
Had to clarify that when they went at
it. Well, they went at it like they wanted to kill each other.
That's right. Thank you for clarification. It wasn't giggity. That's fine.
No giggity. Ouchity.
It's like they recognized each other and they went at it with each other and they were throwing each other around with tremendous strength and stuff and everything. And it's like, what is going on? Like, this entity that inhabit Gamble recognize whatever is the Gorn you got to say the Gorn DNA that's inside her. And it's like, what's going on? I mean, I know they can't leave us at this point where it's just we're just wondering. It's like, how in the world would it makes no sense to us in the sense we just seen the last few episodes where she's stuck with Gorn DNA inside of her, and then they just recently came across came across this planet where we're in all intention it was basically a prison with creatures that should never be basically released, because what did Paleo say? That they will unleash havoc in the universe or something like that.
Furious anger upon the.
See, are these Gorn? Are these another reptilian species that even the Gorn don't like? Hence why the Gorn that's been attached into Batel, which I mean, if the season 2 finale of Strange New Worlds, Batel got attacked by a Gorn and they laid their eggs in Batel, and so she was essentially became a meat sack for.
So the Magog.
Pretty much. I mean, it's same thing happened to Hammer in season 1, where they implanted eggs in Hammer, and he unfortunately died. But Mabanga was able to temporarily tweak the reverse the process that the Gorn was in her, but then it kind of started to reassert itself. That's why they were looking for that flower in the Kinfori episode to try and stop it from happening even further. So it's could turn her into a Gorn human hybrid of some sort, and I think this episode kind of started to show that Gorn side asserting itself again.
Where Spock did a mind meld with her, and he temporarily lost emotional control, and he attacked others, and he attacked Gambit. Gamble. He attacked him, and it's like, what did he see? Spock mind meld with her, and he saw something, and they showed that clip in the beginning as like
previously on
yeah,
Stranger Worlds.
and it's like, Spock mind meld with her, but something happened that he saw and she felt too, and they're like, whoa, what was that? And I'm wondering if that's going to come back to still play before
Guys,
the
I'm
season
gonna have to. I'm gonna have to try and get some sleep, man. It's getting really late here. Thank you very much for having me on. I hope to do this again soon.
Every Monday at 5 Pacific,
although
whatever time that is for you.
Although the timing is very late when you're on, so
yeah.
It's a pleasure meeting you.
My regular,
I'll be able to come on when I'm not able to sleep, or if you change the time. But I don't think you're going to do that, so I'll have to see.
Yeah, see, but yeah, my regular co-host Katie, she bless her heart, she deals with severe and insomnia, and so yeah, being up at this hour is normal for
remember,
her.
subscribe to K70 and watch Star Trek Defiance. You will not be disappointed. All right, you take care, everyone.
Already did.
You too. Talk to you soon.
Good night.
All right, bye-bye. And click.
There you go.
All righty, then there were 4 of us.
There were 4 of us.
But that leaves 6 slots available. So if you want to hop in and join the conversation, put in your 2 cents to the episode or anything else that comes to mind, you just click the link down below. It'll get you to the StreamYard link, and you can hide behind the camera or come on camera. It doesn't matter. So all are welcome as long as you're not a dick.
Absolutely. We will have to, put you in the brig like, they did, and that brig did not hold him.
No, it did not. Which say, and I mean, let's see where did I write it down? Let's see where.
Everybody, do not forget to like and subscribe to our channel.
Yeah, but where did I write it? I was saying it was, of course, a red shirt death. He just reaches through the force field and just chokes him, and just like, what the fuck? This is not going to end well. But yeah, see, that just kind of what?
How did you do that little subscribe thing? I want that.
It's just a little overlay that comes with StreamYard.
Oh, StreamYard. Okay, all right.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's some other ones, but that's I think there's let's see here. Where some of these. Oh, let's see. See, I haven't tried this one yet, but just like, welcome. Oh, I should keep. I need to save that for new people that pop in. Is that going to disappear? Or is that just stay put? Okay, cool. Yeah, because the like and subscribe is completely animated, so I thought that was animated too. Oh, there it goes. Okay, back to the show. And see, that bit was Gamble reaching through the force field. Just he could have broken out at any time. He just found that opportunity to get out and wreak havoc, and it was just kind of going again. 6 cents backing things up a little bit. Just it makes sense of why Pele just flat out shot him in the back. But I initially I thought when the cloud left Gamble's body that he just beamed it out and just dispersed it into space, but he just kept it in the pattern buffer, and definitely it's like that is not a good move, because obviously it looks like it's infected the computer in some way, the way it kind of at the very end changed the syntax on the monitor to whatever its alien language was, which Jorg Hillenbrand on Twitter did some deciphering on that, and some of it just makes absolutely no sense. But it's just like he is a good man to follow, because he does a lot of great stuff with Star Trek. He puts a lot of great content out there. He worked on season 3 of Picard. See, I've been following him on Twitter for years, and I'm going to call it Twitter. It sounds so much. I'm following him on X. I mean, that it just doesn't
I
roll
call
off.
it
No
Twitter.
one calls it X.
I call it Twitter. I mean, yeah.
Well, it like
Just
even
like
the print media outlet said blah 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 on X, formerly Twitter, in parentheses after it. So it's just like, just call it what it is. It's Twitter.
you know, not to get sidetrack off of the top of your head, but it reminds me of the thing way back in the what's that, late 80s, early 90s, mostly 90s, where Prince, everybody knew Prince. He changed his name to a sign, and he referred to himself as the artist known as
Formerly known as
artist known as Prince and stuff. And I was just like,
See, hopefully,
I still
it's
called him Prince. I still called
yeah.
him Prince,
Oh, yeah.
even though he had a sign and they called him the artist. He was the artist. So no, you Prince to me. No, I mean, you may have been short and everything else, and you may need a high. You may need something to sit on a high chair in the throne or something like that. But you still was Prince to me and stuff. But
Yeah.
anyway, back to our topic at hand.
Yeah, but earlier on the episode of Beto and Uhura, there is some heavy flirting going on there. It's just like,
And I what did Ortega say? She said, my brother didn't sign up for this. It was so funny. I heard that little thing. It's like he was just there to didn't they say he had like security clearance too? He had
yeah,
special security clearance. And I was just thinking, why is he doing this? And I was like, what's going on? But I understand it's probably for documentation reasons and stuff. He got security clearance and stuff and
yeah.
everything else.
Which going back earlier in the episode when we're watching them in the conference room, and then it started glitching out. I thought it was something wrong with the stream glitching out, but then when it went panned back a little bit to show that it was viewed from the drone, it's like, okay, that makes sense. That was clever. That was very clever.
It was very clever. That's very clever and stuff and everything. It's like, okay, but you notice too that in this particular episode, when the away team was on the planet, that Spock was with I forgot his name.
Corby.
The guy Kobe. When
Corby.
he was with him,
not Kobe, Corby.
he was Corbin. When he was with him in a different pocket dimension, and then Lennon and Chapel was in. It's like, yeah, Spock. These two, Spock kissed both of these females. It's like, and then the other two, they're stranded and everything else. Also, too, did anybody take this away? I don't know if anybody's in chat or anything like this, but like, I don't know, Phil or Zach. At the very end, I know we're going all over the place in this episode, but at the end, where the door was like on the other side, about 3 meters away or so like that, 30 feet or something like that. They had to me, I call it the Indiana Jones Last Crusade leap of faith.
Yes, the Last Crusade. Yes, and I actually made notes of that. That is just like, they're not doing Indiana Jones. They're not doing Indy Jones. Like, fuck, they're doing Indiana Jones.
I've heard it. I've heard this episode referred to as the Indiana Jones episode now. So that's
Yeah, and I actually, where did I have
It's
it
like they
read?
really did. That was actually a clever
Really.
little, trope that they put in there and stuff in there. I
Mhm.
was like, I like that there thing, but at least this one didn't disappear. It stayed, visible and stuff and everything else.
Yeah.
There it is.
Well, I was gonna say,
Like he was like,
yeah.
leave the relic, and say that's also Last Crusade. Just leave the Holy Grail there.
Yeah, don't take anything with you. Don't just leave everything in, and stuff. I mean, they got that one because he was
Yeah,
in,
yeah, saying yeah, there it is, right above it. Here, let's see if I can get it.
focus.
Red shirt death. Ouch.
Mhm.
We lost.
Red shirts always have to die.
Yeah, I think that's like. God, I'll have to watch all the episodes again, but I mean that's probably one of the more gruesome red shirt deaths. See, we've got them
Yeah.
like vaporized, turn into
Mhm.
dust, but
But that's a
effect
neat,
effects.
but that is pretty neat that Phil said to Corey that they shot the landing party. He visited and stuff, and he was like, I recognize. I was like, that is actually pretty neat.
Mm,
He recognized the the location that they used and stuff. And
absolutely.
See, there
Yeah,
was this
but
episode in season 1 actually that was shot right in Toronto.
mm,
They even said it was Toronto, which actually shocked me. Usually, when they show Toronto, they usually it's somewhere else, but it's
yeah,
obviously Toronto. At
yeah,
least to me, it is. But
yeah.
yeah,
So
there was
was
one
it?
where they actually said it was in Toronto, Canada. I forget.
Yeah, or was it the second season episode Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow?
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They went.
Not to get off what we talk about, but back in the '80s, there was a comedy movie that came out called Police Academy, and
Oh
it
yeah.
spawned at least four or five Police Academy movies.
Mm,
And for the longest
I
time, I
think
did
more
not
than
know
that,
this.
but
For the longest time, I did not know this
I've been
because
there.
it basically was said it was the location in the movie. It was like New York City, New York Police Department, and everything else. It didn't really dawn on me until somebody pointed it out. They was like, that you look, if you look carefully, you will see the skyline. He said it's actually Toronto that they filmed, Police Academy, all the Police Academy movies and
Can I
stuff.
jump in super
Not,
quick because and I don't want to take away. I'll make this really fast. That is actually a university. I've been there. It's an old abandoned university that they use for TV shows and movies. And when I used to do extra work, there was a show I did, really cheap little TV show called Top Cops, where they would recreate actual police scenes. And I used to get called for that all the time because it was kind of a low budget show and it was easy to go down there. But that's actually right off the Long Branch go line, so I can just hop on the train and go right down there. And when we got there, I was driving me crazy because I remember arriving there going, this looks weirdly familiar. And as I was talking to people, everybody was like, oh yeah, this is where they shot Police Academy. So that whole front area, we did. I was down there a bunch of times for that.
that's neat. That's
But
neat.
yeah.
That's neat. See,
yeah,
Look, not to I get to get political and everything else. Canada has had a hand in helping America be great.
Yeah. We did. Entertainment anyways, but yeah, there's a lot that was shot in Toronto actually that was subbed for the US, but yeah.
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 This also in this particular
We need
episode,
replicators.
Yeah.
replicators. Oh,
We do need replicators.
I could only imagine what replicators would do in the wrong hands of people today.
Well, in today's society, they'd probably be people be replicating big floppy purple dildos.
And attaching to weapons, like
Probably and making them weapons.
a
I was gonna say they need two
dildo bazooka.
Oh.
Just like
Oh.
I think Cassie's actually posted videos of just that sort of thing, but that
I like it.
Totally different topic, way off base, but
Something more positive than what the
Yeah.
dildo is really for.
but just talking filming locations just made me immediately think of Star Trek Generations, when during the Nexus scenes when Picard finally got to meet Kirk, and then Kirk visited his uncle's barn in Idaho. Growing up in Idaho, and saying honestly and seeing the movie in the theater in Idaho, everyone cheered when he said that's where they were at. So they did a really, really, really good job of making it look like Idaho, even though it was some park down in Southern California. But I mean, the rolling hills and the trees and things like that was very close to central Idaho where I grew up. So I mean, on that, but it shot nowhere near Idaho.
I thought they shot that in Northern California.
Yeah, somewhere in California. I'm looking at
I
the
think it
filming
was.
location.
Oh,
Yeah,
go
saying
ahead.
because like there's Alabama Hills, Lone Pine. Let's see, where's the other ones? Kern County, Santa Monica, definitely not. That's where the Lady Washington was filmed. Lone Pine, don't think so. Then Nevada, Hollywood, LA, Arizona, Nevada. So yeah, it's either Kern County or Lone Pine. But I'd say Kern Valley sounds like it could be pretty close.
And you got to think about too, like a lot of states, you got to think about they can't shoot in a lot of states because of permits and stuff, and it's very costly for studios and stuff like that to go to, like
The
states.
actual
That's why
locations.
that's why like a lot of stuff that like what I was just saying about like Toronto was basically New York in police academy. We thought for the longest time I did not know that in the police academy was shot in Toronto, even though they used the backdrop and everything else stuff. I'm thinking, no, yeah, that's New York City at that time and everything else. But location, it just like taxes and permits and stuff, and state by state, and there's certain places that studios can go and shoot on location there and stuff and everything else, because they can't shoot all over the country.
Well, and say like with one of the memes for Stargates, they could where every planet looks like Canada. And
I don't know. I don't know if I should be scared or should I be scared?
Oh.
Does it look like Ottawa, or does it look like
Ottawa
out in the middle of nowhere in Ontario?
Yeah,
I think they shot most in British Columbia for Stargate.
In British Columbia.
No, I know.
In Vancouver.
But
I was making a Canadian government joke.
Oh, Canadian government joke.
But yeah, there's one episode.
Everything's in British Columbia.
There is one episode of Stargate. I can't remember if it was season 9 or 10, but it was one of the seasons with Ben Browder, with Mitchell. And he's riding his motorcycle on a highway, and there's clearly signs for Canadian cities that is racing by. You don't even with a DVD, if you just pause it, bam, you can see it's like I've like Surrey, I think was one of the towns on there. So it's like, yeah, that's nowhere near. That's nowhere near Colorado. There's nowhere near Colorado Springs. But like some of the scenes where they did outdoors which is supposed to be at the Air Force Academy, is actually pretty darn close to what the academy looks like. And I know I live here.
If you ever watched Kung Fu Legend Continues, it was almost entirely shot in Toronto. I was called to be an extra for that one quite a bit, actually.
Really?
That one, yeah.
I'm going to watch it.
Cool.
See, there he is.
I'm literally just a blur. I would really have to look to find me, because every time I was called for that, I was way in the distance or lost in the crowd. I was really hard to find in that one. You can find me in the movie 54.
What?
The movie
Studio what?
54, about Studio 54.
Oh.
I'm very clear in that one.
Are you getting any residual checks for that?
No, unfortunately, no. I'm still in a crowd, but I have to be situated where I'm like in a king's robe and a crown. It's the scene where Truman Capote, it's his birthday, and they lower the boy down from the ceiling, and I'm right there in the center of the screen.
We've known each other for over 20 years, and you've never mentioned that to me.
Yeah. I met what's his name? Oh, he was the big heartthrob in the 90s.
Ryan Phillippe.
Ryan Phillippe, I met. Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Let me teach you real quick. I had a teacher back in middle school.
No, or was it? No, it wasn't Ryan Phillippe. It was Mark Wahlberg. Or
the 54 was Ryan Phillippe. Yeah.
Okay. It was Ryan Phillippe. Yeah, Ryan Phillippe and that and everything else. Real quick, listen to this. So I had a teacher who was back in middle school. I think in my 7th grade. I think in my 7th grade. He's a big Civil War buff. He's into Civil War reenactment and everything else and stuff.
Oh yeah.
So there was a movie that came out, I believe, in 1988 or 1989. It was called Glory.
Oh yeah.
And it starred Denzel Washington, Morgan Freeman, and Matthew Broderick.
Okay, all right.
But in the opening credits, I had to go back and make sure because I was like, wait, there's something familiar. I seen my teacher was in 2 shots in the opening credits of the movie when they was like, it was so he's wearing glasses and you could see him walking, and then there was another shot. It's been a long while since it's been so many years since I've seen it, but he was in there and he told a story, because I was like, I mentioned it to him in front of the whole class, and they said, "You was in a movie?" He said, I was in the background, but you can actually see me, in 2 frames, in 2 shots and stuff, and everything else and stuff. And they were like, no one never knew that. He didn't talk about it, but I caught that and I talked it out to the class. And I was like, oh my God. He talked about meeting the cast and, having chats with Morgan Freeman. He said Morgan Freeman was just a nice guy, and stuff.
I believe it. Was he a rifleman or artillery?
He didn't have a weapon in his hand. He was just walking. I have to get if I could find a still image of it, I will find it so I can share it with you guys and stuff.
I'll just plop it in and look. I'll just plop it in and look. What's he look like?
He's got glasses. It's in the opening credits of the movie, and he's walking, and he comes in frame. Then the movie cuts, and then you see him again somewhere. Shortly after that, you can't. I just can't. I gotta bring that movie up because I remember, because we always nickname him. He was nicknamed by a lot of people. He was called Colonel Sheets because he was named Mr. Sheets. We call him Colonel Sheets.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. He's a big Civil War buff. He's retired now, but he was a big Civil War buff.
Yeah.
Well, kind of going along those lines, it was just like a little past Civil War era, but my grandfather was in a movie that starred Dennis Hopper and Julia Roberts back in 1989. It's called Blood Red, which it was like mid late 1800s. It was shot up in Northern California. My grandfather was one of the background characters, but he and the band that he played with is in several scenes in that movie. And I think he played the trombone, if I remember right. But yeah,
good instrument.
He was an accomplished player and did a really good job. But that movie also had Julia Roberts' brother Eric Roberts, and it's the only movie those 2 actors actually played together. But yeah, Dennis Hopper was in it as well.
Oh, that's cool.
But yeah, it dealt with
I've heard of that one.
Yeah, saying, come on, back. Darn it.
But I mean, in all total, this episode of Stranger World opened up a whole new, you know, what the heck is going on? And we're not, and I know we're not going to be finished seeing. I hate to say this, but I suspect these things may get out
Hmm.
since they open that. Chamber and stuff and everything. To me, somehow these things may get out, and
And
that's probably going to be.
yeah.
I was thinking this is probably going to be the season finale of it, going into next season. Somehow, like oh my god, somehow these things get out, and they gotta find a way to get them back in. That's my take on how we're gonna see more of these creatures going into next into season 4, season 5,
yeah, season 4.
season 4.
Oh yeah, I fully expect to see them again. I think this was a setup to see them again.
Oh yeah, they left it wide
Yeah.
open. But it's like the season finale title is New Life and New Civilization, so
Ooh.
maybe
Mm.
let's see, but let's see here.
Civilizations,
nine,
yeah, kinda-
episode 9 is Terrarium, which that could be. It might be a 2-part season finale. But yeah, definitely the
Guys,
episode before
please
that.
like and subscribe to our channel.
Oh yes, yeah, most definitely. So we always welcome different thoughts, different opinions. Yeah, but we are creeping up on that 2-hour mark, and I still got to call and check in on my mom. Fortunately, she's in Western Washington, so she's an hour behind. So it's not too late for me to call her if I call her not too late in the day. But yeah, I was just a little sad, a little pissed that they had to kill Gamble off. But
they were gonna do it.
what's that?
I said, they're gonna do it.
Oh yeah. Well, especially
Yeah.
like I said, I found out ahead of time that he was going to die, but the way he died, that was not expected.
Did we not talk about people who people
Mhm.
get attached to and then are dying, and if they're setting up to make this the the characters that we know of from the Star Trek, from the TOS, the Kirk, Chekhov, and Bones and all them one, either they get them transferred out of the show somehow like that, or they kill them off. Like these characters that we see, it's like a lot of these characters that we kind of like Una and stuff. It's like, are they gonna die in the future? Or we know what happened to Pike,
Yeah.
but
Mhm.
Joseph, we know Bones
he's
take over.
yeah, but Mabenga's still alive in the original series, so he just kind of something tragic's gonna probably happen with Joseph that he needs to step down. So probably like late in the 4th season, early in the 5th season, I think that's when we're gonna get the new McCoy.
Oh sure. Oh yeah, I'm suspecting that.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah.
I think they're going to slowly see
probably
everybody
not.
do it.
Sulu, maybe, but we already know that's only going to be 6
Chekhov's the only one they
episodes.
couldn't. But
Yeah,
But absolutely.
but I think
it was kind of creepy. Real quick, it was kind of creepy when he mentioned his daughter to him, and he was like, "What? I never told you her name." And he started rattling off all that stuff. I was like, "Oh man, this is creepy stuff."
Yeah,
how did this thing knows anything?
Yeah, see, either A, telepathy, B, they got some extra. Well, they got the past, present, and future, the extra dimensional nonsense going on at that prison. So there could be any number of things. So they definitely left this episode wide open to interpretation. They could go any number of directions. So, but I think Chapel has probably the best line of the episode when they got out of the place. We're alive. Take the win.
True, yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, Corby was leaving sorely disappointed. He was wanting to get in there, get stuff, take it out, sell it, maybe, who knows. So that's just like, again, Last Crusade. There's so many Indy Jones references in here. It's like funny. But of course, there was she had another line. And say Chapel of the Enterprise, we need a bigger away team.
Oh, I thought that. Yeah.
Yeah, so she had
Only
two great lines in this
Spock and
episode.
Lanard.
Hmm.
Yeah. And you know what? We're kind of because I know we got to start wrap this up here real soon. The one thing too is when the conversation came up on proceeding, whether or not who has the command authority. In a sense, it's like Spock is senior, and
But he's not
once
in
he beamed
charge.
down, he was senior.
Mm.
Yeah, he wasn't in charge, but yet his command will recognize his authority in a sense because it changed the dynamic of the away mission and stuff and everything else. It prioritizes like, well, when senior commander
Officer.
comes on scene, you have to defer to that. You have to defer to whoever that is and stuff and everything else. But when they proceeded to go in and they had that little debate whether or not if they should go continue to go forward or should they just go right back out and stuff. I was thinking, you know what, that's gonna come bite them back in the butt because I'm thinking y'all need to get out of there. I like this stuff. It's something that's just not right about this. When y'all found a bunch of bodies on the floor, they died
That
of
should have been the first
starvation.
indicator.
I'd be like, yeah, they died of starvation for a reason, but we don't want to end up like them and stuff.
I'm sorry. It's been a long day.
Yeah, it has.
And say, but yeah, you got down on the scroll below. If and say we do the Dangerous Thoughts family, we do have a Discord server, and say you can sign up and get the latest on this show as well as anything going on with the Dangerous Thoughts family of shows because we got the flagship show with Manu and Tyson. We're doing like the Dangerous Thoughts library, which will have certain people from the family just reading a book. You'll just watch them read a book, get their reactions, things like that. That's still learning more about that. But then there's going to be some sketch shows and things like that. It's going to be a lot of fun. So the bit.ly, so bit.ly/DT_fam. They say that'll get you to the server, and then you just sign up. You'll get a lot of welcomes, and then you can see all the stuff. We got a channel for memes. We got a channel for we got sci-fi memes, regular memes. Oh, what else do we have on there? Say music chat, which hasn't gone too far, but the big one, just to say hi, just learn what's going on, and yeah, I am just rambling at this point. So, saying Travis, you gave what's
go
that?
ahead. I would just say we're gonna bring this to a conclusion.
Yes, yeah, well, you kind of gave your closing thoughts, Travis. So, Phil, what about you?
Oh, I think we kind of summed up everything. Yeah, I kind of don't have any further thoughts on what we shared. But yeah, good episode though. I really enjoyed it. But
yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Zach, what about you?
Yeah.
Zach, are you still with us? Knock.
Well, I am going to do better and get the links all set up and whatnot for next week's episode, but I do have the graphics set up.
All
The
right.
Salot who ate its tail. So that right there tells me this is going to be a very Spock-centric episode. Saying because if you've watched the animated series of Star Trek, is saying he had a pet Salot, which is a rather large. I mean, if you think why am I blanking on a targ is a big animal for a pet. A Salot is much, much bigger. And saying it can be domesticated, but it just grew up in the wild. So I am really, really intrigued. I mean, even Ortegas has got her eyebrow just like, what the heck's going on? So I am looking forward to seeing that. Hopefully I'll be able to watch it sometime before Monday because I got got therapy tomorrow. I meet my peer coach on Wednesday. I got
There it goes again.
more therapy on Thursday. I'm going to meet my nutritionist on Thursday. Got bowling on Thursday, and then on top of that, I got to go to my AA meeting. So it's going to be a freaking crazy week. Thanks for popping in before we end the show, there, Zach.
There it is.
So,
The
like
sky.
and subscribe, everybody.
Yes, like and subscribe. The more, the merrier. Say watching the channel is a great help to. Hopefully, one of these days, get my channel monetized, but I'm still a long way from getting that point. But it's
Aren't
all
we
for the
all?
fun. It's fun. I enjoy geeking out with all you guys. It's always a blast, and hopefully
And follow Technically Trek on Rumble.
Yes, I just got that going. I'm still getting that, figured out, but we'll get there eventually and see, because as much as I love Twitch, saying it's not generating anything on there, and I can only have three things. So got to have the YouTube. Say pay the $8 a month so I can go on Twitter again, and then with Rumble, hopefully if we can get some more views going, hopefully I can get these allergies under control before the season ends. Or not the allergy season, but the season for Strange New Worlds.
You might want to go see Joseph for that.
Maybe he'll give me a hypo. But yeah, until next week, may Spock be with you. See y'all next week.
All right. Good night, all.
Take care, everybody.